Hey, how's it going, everybody? It is Max with BuzzTox, and I'm here with a new type of Game of Thrones video. It is strictly a news video, and I'm going to be doing these every week, and I'm going to be pulling news stories from the Watchers on the Wall website, and I'm going to be giving my opinion and thoughts on these news stories coming out. But before I get into that, I want to talk about some BuzzTox news stories. So, I haven't uploaded a Game of Thrones video in 3 weeks. The reason for that is because I have built a movie studio, or Trevor has built a movie studio for me, and I have watched him do it. So now it is soundproof, I can be as loud as I want, and now I'm settled. So now I'm not living out of a suitcase. I can actually produce consistent content for you guys. And just to give you guys a little teaser, I have a new Game of Thrones White Walker video coming out soon. In the next 3 days or so, you should be seeing this White Walker predictions video. So you have that to look forward to. But anyways, let's move on to our first news story. Lord Glover is confirmed to return in Game of Thrones Season 7. If you guys don't remember who Lord Glover is, he is from House Glover in Deepwood Motte. He's the guy who asked Jon Snow for forgiveness and pronounced Jon king in the north.
I did not fight beside you on the field, and I will regret that until my dying day. A man can only admit when he was wrong and ask forgiveness.
These pictures were leaked showing Tim McInnery, who plays Lord Glover, Kit Harington, who plays Jon Snow, Gwendolyn Christie, who plays Brienne of Tarth, and the dude who plays Podrick, I don't know his name, is getting ready for a scene in Northern Ireland. So this pretty much suggests that Pod and Brienne will make it back to Winterfell and report back to Sansa about Riverrun. But some of the photos really confuse me. We see Jon and Brienne in like a matching undergarment. I don't know, it's like Westerosi underwear. So I don't know what's going on, but for some reason they're both kind of in their pajamas. So I just thought I'd point that out as a responsible news anchor. That's what I'll consider myself. But overall, this news makes me believe that Lord Glover will be taking a secondary character role in the North. I also think he will be joined by Lady Mormont because everybody loved her. She was extremely popular with fans. And Lord Manderly. I think these characters are really going to be beefed up in the North because all the characters are either dying in the North or they're fleeing south like Sam. So we really need strong characters up in the North around Jon and Sansa. In our next story, it turns out that HBO actually likes to make money. Hollywood Reporter sat down with HBO's programming president Casey Bloys, and he sat down and gave his opinion on Game of Thrones spin-offs, prequels, and sequels. And obviously he's very keen on the idea. He went on to stress that if they would do it, they would need good writers. They have no plan in place for what the spin-off should be. And he talked about David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, the producers of the show. And I think, if they're doing a spin-off, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss aren't coming back. They've worked hard enough, and they don't want to come back. You're going to hire whole new producers. But they have a whole rogues gallery that George R.R. Martin would be happy to sell to them, so he could also make a shit ton of money. They have Robert's Rebellion. You have Aegon's Conquest. You have The Long Night. You have Dunk and Egg. And I believe Robert's Rebellion the rights have already been sold to HBO. So that naturally makes sense. And to be honest, Robert's Rebellion is the spinoff that I would prefer. You start off with, Ned Stark and all that stuff, and you build up through to Robert's Rebellion. You should use the same actors that have been used in the flashbacks, and I think it matches up perfectly. However, the one problem with the spinoff is you're not going to be having dragons most of the time. Depending on what you pick, you're not going to have dragons. You might not have White Walkers. You might not have certain aspects of the show, which really makes it what it is. But guys, I'm going to put money on it. After Game of Thrones is finished, within that next half year, you're going to find out about a Game of Thrones spinoff. Whether it's Dunk and Egg, whether it's Aegon Conquest, whether it's whatever, you're going to hear about it. And that takes us to our last story. It's a little bit more exciting. There is a planned battle/ambush being filmed in Spain. So it's reported that wagons are delivering goods from a castle, and it doesn't really sound like a big deal until you find out that they're using 500 extras. And just so you know, they used 500 extras to film Battle of the Bastards. And it's also speculation that the majority of these extras are Unsullied and Dothraki, and they also believe that there is at least one Lannister in this event. So I wish I never read this news because it really fucks up my prediction. I thought that Jaime would be heading north. And to me here, it seems like Daenerys is planning on cutting out Cersei's supply. Cersei seems to be sending resources to King's Landing from maybe this is in Casterly Rock or Storm's End. It's one of these two, I believe. Currently, nobody right now is in Storm's End, and she can maybe try and, take that, use the resources, and that's where she might be going. Or it could be Casterly Rock, where she's getting them to send resources from Casterly Rock to her. And Daenerys' plan, as I stressed in my predictions video, is to go around Westeros, allying herself with everyone who supports her and taking away anybody who doesn't. That way, when she goes to take over King's Landing, she has nobody trying to attack her. So I think what Daenerys plans to do is to cut out Cersei's supply while she's trying to take over all these territories. And she's doing that right here. So whether it's in Storm's End or Casterly Rock, I don't know. But it seems like Jaime Lannister would be there. So now that really throws a wrench in my prediction. If Jaime was captured by Daenerys and Tyrion, which seems like that's what's going to happen, Tyrion would spare Jaime and probably send him back to King's Landing to get Cersei to surrender. And knowing Cersei, she would not want to surrender. And it might get so bad that she'll want to blow King's Landing up, and that will result in Jaime killing her, and it will produce all of this craziness. Anyways, that's the end of this news video, guys. If you like it, let me know. I'm going to be doing a news video once every week. We'll see how that goes. I also have a White Walker video coming up soon. So I'll see you guys then.